Okay, can you guys still hear me okay? I'm switching my screen here. So, okay, I already told you guys I totally geek out on marketing. So I used to work in corporate marketing, and even though I hated my job with a fiery passion, I loved learning about the world of marketing. I loved learning about persuasion and connecting with people. And so much of marketing, success in marketing, comes from what you market then turning into a relationship. And that applies directly to our business. So I'm going to talk to you guys about a topic that it's a hot topic in the world of online business, but it hasn't exactly permeated its way into network marketing in a huge way. The really successful people in different network marketing companies are doing it, but it's kind of revolutionary when you adopt this principle and start taking action on what I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to ask a couple questions. I'm going to ask you guys to use the chat just because it's going to help me know how I can better help you. And there's no shame in your answers. And I'm expecting most people to not be super familiar with this. So don't feel badly if you aren't. So my first question is, who on here understands the concept of building their list, their email list? Okay, so people, for the most part, know what it is, but they aren't necessarily doing it. Okay, so next quick question is, who in here is using like lead generation tools? Brittany, I know you're doing this, right? No? All right, well, think about it. Facebook ads. You're doing Facebook ads. That's a lead generation tool. So some of you guys might be doing this and you just might not be familiar with the phrases I'm using. So, anyway, let's get right into it. If you saw my post in the team page about what this call is about, did anyone get that like pit in their stomach when I talked about the fact that, like, when I kind of commented on if you're not building your list, you're kind of at risk? All right, good. So you're in the right place. Think about it this way. We all use social media to build our businesses. Up until pretty much a year or so ago, that is solely, minus those people I had sitting at my kitchen table, how I built my business. Facebook. First, it was my personal Facebook page. Then I slowly have transitioned a little into a like page, and now it's a little more Instagram. But it's been social media. And never once did I think about the fact that I don't own my list of friends on Facebook. I could literally wake up tomorrow and Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, could make the decision to either shut my page down, to delete all of my contacts, to freeze my account. So what would I then do? So I learned about this in listening to podcasts. So here's a big thing. I want you guys to think tonight like an entrepreneur, not just like a Beachbody coach selling Shakeology. I want you to think like an entrepreneur. I'm going to teach you principles that are going to apply to any business that you're working in, but specifically Beachbody. So you have to build smart. And building your email list, you own that. You can control when you contact those people. You can control what they see. Here's a little reality check. When you post on Facebook, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that algorithms control who sees what. Sometimes you might put up a post and be like, this one's a winner, and you go back and check it an hour later and you're like, great, 2 likes, my mom and my husband. So if you feel like you notice times where your traction's higher or lower, that's because Facebook, Instagram, they control what happens to your posts and your account. Building your list is the only way to ensure that you're getting in front of the eyes of people who are meant to see your stuff and want to see your stuff. And there's also kind of this relief of like when you're marketing to your list versus on Facebook or Instagram, of like, these people actually want to be hearing from me. So there's that stigma of like, oh, will people judge me because I'm posting this on my personal page and some of it's family and they don't necessarily support me. It's just like going in there and talking to your homies. So if you've only been using social media up to this point, you're probably missing this huge connection piece, but I'm going to walk you through it. And I also want to take the fear that a lot of you probably have stirring up because I might be using terms you're not familiar with. But basically, in a nutshell, I'm just telling you to get people's email addresses, okay? And I'll explain all of that, what it means, how it works. So it was with our 25th hour. I don't know how much you guys have been using it or what you know about it, but basically I hired and pay really good money to a nutritionist every month to develop these meal plans for us to help us use it as leverage to get people on Shakeology HD. And I was talking to this girl who I hired, and she has 200,000 followers on Instagram. 200,000 followers on Instagram. To give you a reference point, I just broke the 4,000 mark, and it's taken me like 5 years to get there. And it's been a slow growing machine. 200,000 she has. So I started talking to her about it. Wanted to learn more, like how she builds her business. She's not a coach or anything. She's not network marketing. And after a few minutes of talking to her, here's what I learned about her list of 200,000 followers. She still works full-time as a nurse. She makes under $50,000 a year with her business through Instagram. She runs her nutrition business. And she only makes that money by hustling, and doing one-on-one nutrition coaching, which requires her time. She has 200,000 followers. You can't go to the bank with those 200,000 followers and say, here are my 200,000 followers, I'd like to cash this in. But then I was talking to another girl that sometimes I like to mastermind with people that are outside of our world of Beachbody and even network marketing to learn what they're doing. And I talked to her. She had like maybe 400 or 500 followers on Instagram. She makes $600,000 a year running her business. And she has an email list of 1,000 people. 1,000, that's it. She builds her whole business of over $500,000 a year by marketing to her email list. And you want to know why it works? Because those 1,000 people on her email list opted in to be there. Everything she gives them, they're sitting there like waiting for it. But the girl with 200,000 followers is another person blasting stuff out into the stratosphere of Instagram or Facebook or whatever and getting lost in the noise, and they're not converting. So the first and most important piece to you in your Beachbody business, in growing your email list, in building your social media is knowing who you're talking to. I know we've talked about it until we're blue in the face about knowing your avatar, right? Like, who is your person? This is so important when you're building your email list, because if you're putting the value out there to attract the right people and you're getting the names of the people who want to be on your list, you can speak to them in a way that you'll connect with them. So how do you get people to want to be on your list? That's the part I noticed some of you guys saying, yeah, I know what that is, but I don't know the how. There are several different ways. I'll give you probably the most common way is something called a freemium, a freebie. It's basically giving someone value in return for their email address. So you guys probably do it all the time. You'll see an ad pop up on Facebook, or someone put up a post, or a link to something that just says, get my 7-day clean eating plan for free. Click here, and you click it, and you have to enter your email address to get it, right? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. That's happening. It could be clean eating plan. It could be a coupon code, whatever. You have to enter your email. All that's doing is that person, that business is collecting your email. They're giving you something free, so you give your email. But the whole purpose of what they're giving you, it has really little to do with that value they're giving you to them. It's all about the fact that now they have their email. They know who's interested in their stuff. and then they market to you. You probably see them show up in your inbox somewhat regularly. You guys all with me so far? Any questions about that concept? It's like pretty straightforward. So what you want to do is offer value. Now this is where it comes in handy to know who you're talking to. Don't get stuck in the way of thinking, I'm a Beachbody coach, so what I offer has to be health or fitness related. It doesn't. Who is your tribe? So let me give you an example. Maybe your tribe are busy, strung out, working moms. Giving them a clean eating plan is fine, but there are billions of clean eating plans out there. Think about your person and their pain points. A busy, strung out, working mom probably needs either more time on their hands or less stress. Maybe it's something that just speaks to them. Like it could be like a quick 5-minute video on how to de-stress your life and organize your morning as a busy mom so that before you leave for work, you feel like you've already checked off half of your to-do list. I'm just making something up. But basically, whoever your tribe is, just think of their pain points and you can offer any value to them. Like create a PDF, create a little video, anything. It can be an invite, like the 25th hour I've been using a lot. If your group are busy, strung out moms, you can be offering them access to this group, and don't just give them the link to the group or add them. Ask for their email address and then email them the link. You gotta get their email. So you guys following that so far? Okay. And if not, please just unmute and let me know if you have questions, because I know some of this stuff sounds high level, and it's a high level concept as far as like the people that are using it, but it is simple. And I'll get to the point where I tell you how to physically collect their emails. We're just not there yet, so you don't have to ask that question. So value, free value. It can be a recipe. It can be a funny video. Like just think of the things that you've entered your email in to get access to. Like, I have one that's like the 8 books that totally transformed my life and helped me become successful or something like that. And I just put them into a PDF. I made it look pretty. I made it in Canva, and I collect their email address. Again, I'll get to how I do it and how you can do it. And then I email them that freebie, but now they're on my list. And then what happens is the concept is you give till you're blue in the face, and then you sell. So it's like share, then sell. And what that does is you're developing so much trust and connection with them through these emails and these freebies and these things you're sending them, that when you get to the point where you want to like tell them a story about how you lost 20 pounds already doing 80-day obsession and you have another group starting up, they already feel connected to you. They've been in conversation with you every week or every couple weeks, and they love what you send them, so they're more likely to open your emails. And you are controlling what is going to whom. Like, you know whose inbox you're entering into, and if you do a good job of offering enough value in the emails that you're sending or in the freebies that you're giving out, they're going to be more likely to open those emails when they come. It can be anything. Like, all right, I'm jumping ahead here. So 25th hour, I think, is a great tool to be using to get people's emails. So instead of like giving out the link to the group, instead of just adding people to the group, sure, I'd be happy. It can be as simple as far as collecting the emails. It can be as simple as if you're talking to them on Facebook, you can invite them and be like, cool, just shoot me your email so I can send you the link. And you can just start collecting them in an Excel sheet. You don't have to do anything fancy. You can literally write them on a piece of paper. You just need their email addresses. I also want to make an announcement. Newsletters are dead. So you'll hear people say like, join my newsletter for more tips and tricks and blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, I'm creating a newsletter. People don't give a shit about a newsletter. They just want value. So the concept is along the lines of a newsletter where like every couple weeks you're sending them, you know, a note in their email, but it's not a newsletter. It's not like, this is what I was up to today. It's value. Do you see the difference? It's like, I am giving you this tool. I am giving you this recipe. I'm giving you this video that will inspire you. I'm giving you something to make you laugh. I'm giving you access to something, versus like always just like filling them in on something. So newsletters are no longer. Some other cool things that you could be sending out, like a lot of people are like, okay, that's great, but how do I come up with the content? Oftentimes you probably already have some really great content created in the stuff you've used on social media. Just go back and you can repurpose a lot of that stuff. Look in your challenge groups when you wrote up this awesome post about inspiring someone and talking about your weight loss journey. You can use that. It can be stories. I love the idea of doing like coach spotlights or challenger spotlights and testimonials. Now is such a good time to start gathering your testimonials from customers who have had positive experiences, or coaches, or people who love working with you. Testimonials are so powerful. You can get them in video form. You could ask them just to, like, can you write like 2 or 3 sentences of what it's been like to be on this journey with me? But those are things that, like, if it popped into my inbox and the subject line was like, you won't believe this person's or like my friend's results, or what, something to catch their eye, and I open it and I see a before and after, and I hear this awesome story about this mom who'd been struggling postpartum and she didn't think she could do it, but you know, she joined the group to be a part of something and then started to see what she was capable of, and she lost all this weight and whatever. I'd want to read that. And then at the end, that's where you can invite them to something, or maybe that's just what you've sent them, and like 3 or 4 emails later, you're inviting them to a challenge group, because now it's, you know, you've planted the seed. Hold on, I'm just reading, making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So you can send, like I said, recipes, whatever. So you get the idea of what you can send, right? You guys don't need more of that. Like, my biggest thing is, who are you talking to? Think of their pain points. Give them something to solve that. Give them something to feel better about that. Give them something that will help them. You can run Facebook ads. This is one way you can start. So I'm going to talk to you now about like how you can capture these emails. So there are a few different ways. So you can do, there are free ways to do it. There are minimal paid ways. There are more expensive ways. One is an ad. So Facebook, my recommendation is don't just go running an ad, learn how to do it properly. I personally recommend Social Team Builder. If you're serious about building a big business, it's an investment, not a big one, but a small investment. And it takes time and work. You got to watch the videos, learn the system, but it works. So you could run a Facebook ad, and it could be like, I run ads to that. Let's use this as an example. I created that PDF of the 8 books that totally transformed my life. And I just ran a simple Facebook ad saying like, you know, 6 years ago, I was sitting in a cubicle completely unfulfilled, and now I run my own business from home, blah, 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 just like a little glimpse into my life. I credit these 8 books for helping me break free of my cubicle life and to become financially free. And they click a link that brings them to a tool called Lead Pages, where they can enter their email and it captures it for me. And then they get sent an email with that PDF. So ads are one tool that can link to something called Lead Pages. If you go to leadpages.net, that is a paid service, so that's not one of the free tools. I'll get to some free tools soon. So that's an option, and it basically is just like a lead capture system. So you have the ability to have this little box pop up, and it'll say, enter your email here to get Elizabeth's PDF, and they can put their email in, and Lead Pages captures that email for you and syncs it to your whatever email service you use. So that's one tool. If you want to go the free route, it can be something like a Facebook post. Sorry guys, my throat's so dry. It can be something like a Facebook post where you just talk about, like, hold on, we have a tradition. Michael's flying home tonight, and he just texted me what we say before we take off, so I have to respond. Priorities. So, thanks. It could be a Facebook post where you say basically what I just said, and instead of you like running an ad or sending them to lead pages because it's a paid service, you could just tell I don't recommend doing the whole drop your email below, because that means anyone can see that and take their emails. It's not a very secure thing for them, and it's also not smart to like share with the world your prospects' emails. So I don't recommend the drop the email below. Also, Facebook now has an algorithm. When you say things like comment below, drop a email below, it knows you're doing that, and it like knocks you totally out of the news feed. So I would do something like where I say, you know, these are the 8 books that transformed my life. If you want, just talk about it. And then you could link to something called Woofu, which is a free tool. I'll type it in the chat so you see the spelling. Up to a certain point, it's woofu.com. Up to a certain point, it's free, and it's like a form. You could have them fill out a little form. You can also create a Google form. Those are free too. Or you could just look and see who is commenting and saying they want it, and then reach out to them in a private message and just ask them for their email and say, sure, I'd happy to send it to you, just shoot me your email. And that way you're starting to collect more emails. If you're serious about doing this and growing your email list and really just serious about building a powerful business, I think Lead Pages is a great tool. It's not that expensive, and it syncs with your email providers. Hold on, so Allison, to answer your question, she said, where do you keep the email list? I use MailChimp. MailChimp is also a free tool up to a certain point. I pay because I'm over a certain amount of people on my list, but for a good chunk of time, it's free. And a tool like Lead Pages, which is the capture system. So picture this, a box pops up, they click the link on your post, ad, whatever. It brings them to elizabethhartke.leadpages.com. They just see a little box, just like anytime you enter your email on something, a little box that pops up says, click here to get your PDF from Elizabeth. They just enter their email, they hit submit. Then Lead Pages sends that email and connects it to whatever list you want them on in your MailChimp. So I'm going to talk about the segmentation in a minute. But what I like is, so let's say I have different people I kind of talk to. They're all like from the same world because you want your avatar to kind of fit like the same person, but they're at different stages in life. So maybe sometimes I'm talking specifically to a mom, but some other times I'm talking to people who just like want to get out of their job. So I create some PDF that's really, or whatever, something for a mom specifically. I want them to go on a mom list so that once in a while when I want to share something that's mom specific, I don't want to send that to my whole list, because the dad or the men and the people who are single and the people who don't have kids, like why is she sending me her favorite baby carriers? Like, I don't have a kid. So MailChimp allows you to create segmentation. Like, I have lists that says moms, and I have a list that says, you know, potential challenge group or like challenge pack, whatever. I have a list that says like, you know, something specific to coaches. So it'll shoot Lead Page. You pick which list you want this particular PDF thing, whatever, to sync to, and it will sync to that in MailChimp. So it collects all your emails, and then you can go into a tool like MailChimp, and you can create an email campaign, and you can send, you know, let's say there's a program launching in 4 months, and you think a particular list of people would benefit from it. You want to add value to that list enough times that so when you want to invite to that challenge group or that program, then you can market to them and share it without feeling salesy because you've built that trust. Does that answer your question? Yes? Okay. So, and this all sounds technical, but once you get in these, I'm the least techie person on the face of the earth, minus maybe my dad. And if you get in MailChimp and Lead Pages, it's all pretty simple. And like I said, if you want to go old school and you just want to collect these emails and just email them like through Google or Gmail or whatever, do it however you want. But I think MailChimp is a great, great tool when you're getting started and even for a while. Like, it's available to you for free, and it allows you to organize your email list, and you can set it up ahead of time. Like, I could set up the next year's worth of emails. I could type them all out now. I could tell MailChimp what date I want it to send. I can tell them what lists I want it to go to. I can have it be a campaign where it's like, on this date, I want them to get this email. On this date, I want them to, if they don't open it, I want you to send this follow-up email. If they do open it, send this email. Like, you can set it up so that only certain people get things. It just makes it really easy to just market to your list. And the list is so powerful. Like, you don't have any idea. I'm hitting Success Club 10 every month on my list. Okay, so when you are bitching about feeling like your market's run dry, it's time to build your list. When you offer good value to people, they want to get that value, so they'll give their email. And when you're in their inbox, it's just more intimate. You can talk to them in a more intimate way. It's like you're receiving a message from a friend when someone sends you an email. And you don't make it salesy. You don't make your subject lines like every first letter of every word capitalized, because your friend wouldn't write that way. You make the subject line just checking in on you, or something that like you would open, and you make it real, and you can serve them like no one else can serve them, and you can convert them into customers and coaches because you've connected with them in a way that you can't connect with them necessarily on social media, or maybe you could, but they're missing your stuff on social media, and they're connecting with you. They know, like, and trust you, and that's when they're gonna convert with you. And you know exactly who you're talking to, and it's kind of fun that way, because you're gonna start to actually have like conversations with these people through your list. The one tool that we're all like exposed to that does not have an algorithm, that can't change gears on you tomorrow, that can't, wipe out the people that you have access to, is your email. It's your email list. It's the thing that's not going to change on you. Tomorrow, Facebook could be different. Now, I'm not bashing. I use social media heavily to build my business still. But now, my social media is also the tool that I'm using really to grow my email list, so I can use my email list and my email platform and my email campaigns to convert people. Sometimes I'll have conversations that will lead to a sale or a sign up, but typically I'm capturing their email so that I can get into their inbox and really connect with them. Does that make sense? Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. What are your questions about this? I know it sounded like a little techie, but I'm telling you, like, if you want it boiled down, get people's emails. Like, I can't make it any more simple than that. I don't care how you do it. It is really exciting. It's like when you start doing this stuff, you will geek out on it as much as I do. I'm obsessed with my email list. I'm obsessed with creating awesome content for them. Like, I feel so much more connected to them than I do to any other platform. And it's not something stressful. Like, there's no learning a new thing. Like, Facebook ads are tough. You've got to learn them if you're going to make it work for you. But this is just like, share your story, share testimonials, share value, offer value to collect the emails. And it's just this constant circle of you are just giving and serving, giving and serving, giving and serving. So when it comes time to ask for something, you're not even really asking, because they're already hooked. They love you. They're connected to you. They trust you. You just tell them what you're doing, and they're like, sign me up. Like, they already know and believe in you. So when you've got a challenge group, you just share like what you're doing, and you're like, yeah, sure, you can join me if you want. And they're like, yep, I'm in. I believe you. I trust you. A bunch just came through, so I want to make sure. I didn't miss anything. So how often do I email people? When I'm being good, Karen, it's once a week, I think is a pretty good time to show up in their inbox. When I have like when the 80-day launch was happening, I was showing up multiple times in their inbox a week because it was like, email them, follow up with them, email them, follow up with them. And, but that was after like 6 months of sending value, you know, so it depends. But if it's just like general rule of thumb, I say like once a week is good. I don't like to spam people. But you know your tribe too. Like I know people that I'm on email lists and I get an email every day. And that like freaks me out. I'm like, oh my God, it's like just polluting my inbox. I can't keep up with it. But I know other people who love that. Like they're opening that email. They look forward to that email every single day. Just reading through. Yeah, definitely, Mackenzie. She said, I notice when I do call to actions through forms, it's changed the game. Tara, now you can start applying it to your business. Yeah, no, Sada, I agree. It doesn't have to, this is not something that's super overwhelming. Like to me, if someone comes on and like tries to walk me through like how to run a Facebook ad or something like that, it can feel overwhelming. This is just like, when you're talking to people, just move it over to email. Like if that's how basic you want to keep it in the beginning, go ahead. My recommendation is using something like MailChimp and a lead capture tool because it organizes it and allows you to set up campaigns. But if you're like, I'm just going to at least start collecting emails to be smarter and safer, you can start there too. So any other questions tonight? I didn't want to go too deep into it. I wanted to kind of scratch the surface on this concept. You guys, this is something that can set you apart because the network's not doing this. I'm telling you, I've talked to teams, I've been on calls as a speaker, and I'll bring this up and like, I'll be on calls with 500 people and like, none of them are doing it. So we have the opportunity to kind of like level up. And this is an entrepreneurial way of thinking. This is not just Beachbody. This is being a business owner. And I love that stuff. Like I'm always like, give me the stuff that can make me level up, push me, challenge me. I don't want to be just another challenge pack pusher. I want to do this in a way that's like, how does a real business owner do this? Because I want to earn a business income. Like I don't want to dink around with this thing. I don't want to just post sweaty selfies and hope that someone's inspired once a month and wants to buy a challenge pack for me. I want to build a business and an income that changes my family's life. So you get to decide where you're at with this thing, but this is something that anyone and everyone can be doing that can set you apart and help you build in a big way. Just like everything else, nothing with it happens overnight. This isn't like a quick fix. This isn't, oh, I'm going to build my email list and then all of a sudden I'm going to be hitting Success Cup 20 every month. This is, you got to be creating the value, the content, the stuff they want to see. Don't fool yourself into thinking like another clean eating strategy is something people want. Think outside the box, know your people, speak to your people. Like Karen, you have another baby, like brand new baby. Start sharing like, what are the 10 things that you absolutely couldn't live without after having this baby, and put those products on a list and market to your moms. It doesn't matter if it's not about Beachbody because capturing their email doesn't have to have anything to do with Beachbody challenge packs, nothing. It's what you're going to then send them in their inbox that's going to make it click. Set a goal. How many emails are you collecting this year? Think about it. Don't answer right now. I set a goal to get my email list up to 20,000 this year. And I'm pushing for it. So think about it and then we can talk about it. But I think it's epic when you start doing it and you're going to have fun with it. So, okay. Yeah, Seth, I love that. Seth Godin is a great resource in regards to building your super fans, hence that 1,000 people. So think about too, like start finding podcasts that talk about this. There's so many. I listen to Amy Porterfield. I listen to the Goal Digger podcast. Like they're all talking about these higher level ways of thinking. Don't be a small player in the game. Don't be someone who's just like doing challenge groups and posting sweaty selfies. You're bigger than that, you're better than that, and you're smarter than that, and you're gonna build something far more epic than that, and this is a great place to start. So have Amy Porterfield. Have an awesome rest of your night, guys. Thank you so much for taking time out to be on, and bring this to your teams, and bring this to, remember I challenged you guys to like bring the noise, bring the energy, infuse it back into our team. The way we're gonna get more people doing this, the way we're gonna see bigger volume boosts and more income in our business is if our whole team adopts this. Go back to the Team Drop the Cookie page and talk about what you learned. Go live, put a post up, talk about the team call. We got to get more traction and more energy in here, because guess what? When everyone starts boosting and doing more, we're all going to see big income growth. Okay, that's the perk of being like, we're all independent business owners, but we see the growth when the whole team is on board. And you guys are the leaders of that because you're here. You're present right now. So bring that energy and like level up in that area too, because that is just as important as knowing any logistics. All right, guys, have an awesome night. Thank you again for your time, and I'll post the recording soon.